Hey guys, my name is Sarah Wolfwater, and for today's video, I am going to be reenacting Star Stable fanfiction. Okay, before we begin, just a disclaimer, I did not write this fanfiction. This video is meant for adults, not kids. And also a link to the full fanfiction will be below. And if you are going to read the full thing, make sure you read the trigger warnings that are in the first chapter. I'm only going to be going over the first couple chapters. And last thing, please do not harass the author in any way. This is all just for fun, and it's about Star Stable, so let's calm down, okay? Today's story is called Start of the End, Yidris X Reader, and it is written by Astronemia, I believe that's how you say it. And the author has a Tamaki from Oran High School Host Club profile picture, so I love that. First chapter has a bit of information, and it's explaining that it's like a self-insert story, and the main character will be called YN, meaning your name. You're supposed to insert your name. And your horse will be called HN, horse's name. However, I'm just gonna be reading it straight up as it was written, and I'm just gonna be saying YN and HN. It also says in the intro chapter that bold means messages, calls, important parts, and whispers. So I think that's interesting. Chapter 1 is called The So-Called Cold-Blooded Snake? ? All right. Jorvik. A land full of mysteries and secrets. It's your choice to believe it or not. Again, first sentence, off to a great start. Okay, let's continue. You heard your phone ringing at 6 in the morning. As you were grabbing it, you grunted, "Ugh, I hope it's not Elizabeth or the others for another stupid emergency meeting." And to your surprise, it wasn't. It was your friend Chip. "Oh my gosh, Chip, why the freak are you calling me at 6 a.m.? Chip. "Oh, come on, YN. I literally told you yesterday. Pretty please. I need support and you know it." As you were trying to remember what Chip said yesterday, it hit you like a rock in the face. He was doing a competition at Starshine Ranch, and you said you would come to support him. Well, heck, I totally forgot about that. Listen, I really do want to come, but you know who will be there. I mean, I know that it's probably not Voldemort, but every time I hear the words "you know who," I'm just imagining Voldemort. And now it's just like Voldemort pulling up to Starshine Ranch on a horse. Chip. "Come on, YN, get over it. I know He was cut off by your raging voice. "Don't you dare finish that name. I don't want to hear it. I will come as long as you stay with me the whole time until it's your turn." Chip. "Fine, I'll be at your place in 10 minuets. Be ready by then." It was obvious he was annoyed by what you said. But just the thought of seeing Josh, you had shivers up and down your spine and a headache which struck like lightning. Chip's POV. Okay. Random POV switch to Chip. Okay. I absolutely knew. Oh, wait, I have to do this Chip's voice. Okay, hold on. Lock in. "I absolutely knew why YN did not want to go because in Starshine, her ex-lover was there. And all of a sudden, a flashback hit me. I remember YN coming to my place unannounced and crying the life out of her. I asked her what was wrong. As she was sobbing, I couldn't understand everything she said, but I got the point. Her Josh was cheating on her with the bratty tan we all hate." Honestly, I'm surprised that it wasn't Loretta cheating, because, she's the mean girl in the story, but okay, I guess tan. Okay, moving on. YN explained how she was coming to Josh's to surprise him after she lied that she was staying in your home country. Bro, why was she lying? Okay, red flag, whatever, but okay. Maybe she suspected he was a cheater. She was explaining every single detail about how she noticed the doorknob was open. She slowly unlocked it, and she heard Heath panting and moaning. And to her surprise, Josh was in the bed with Tan doing you-know-what. That was night the emotion, fear, and happiness was sucked out of her, only left with huge anger issues and sarcasm. But after she found out that he cheated, she did something horrible we don't talk about ever. Ever since then, she was this tired, emotionless, depressed, sarcastic monster. After the incident, some people called her the cold-blooded snake. But honestly, I think she just needs support and a loving friend. One of the reasons I think she did that was it was one of her first serious relationships. I simply think it's time to get over it. Okay, first of all, what was the horrible thing she did? Did she kill somebody? But there's only one thing about YN that is not normal. When she is angry, it's simply inhuman. Okay, so is she like a monster? What does that mean? Unclear. Chapter 2. An unpleasant meeting. As you got out of bed, half dead due to not having much sleep, you dragged yourself across the room to the bathroom. You always saw a weird reflection in the mirror of yourself. You always saw like a crazy version of yourself. You looked wild. You also had pink eyes. You just looked like a more human werewolf. But you never really paid attention to it. I would pay attention to that. Just a recommendation, if you think you're turning into a werewolf, maybe like get that checked out, okay? You opened the sink and washed your face with cold water, which made you slightly shiver since you don't like the cold. You simply made a bun on your hair, trying to make it look normal, trying not to reveal your messy, unbrushed hair. YN with that messy bun, she's gonna get sold to One Direction. You know. But then after she gets sold to One Direction, she's gonna turn into a werewolf and eat them all. You went to the closet and picked out what you wanted to wear, which usually took you ages, but you were so tired to pay attention to what you were wearing, so you put on red-black breeches, along with your favorite color hoodie. As you left your house, which was at Valedale for the meetings, you spotted your favorite green-eyed, red-headed Chip. He was on his pure Snow White Mustang, which is why he named her Snow White. Hey, Gingerhead! Your favorite nickname for Chip was Gingerhead, which is why you said it so confidently. You went to get HN from the stable. Chip wanted to help, so he went to get HN's tack. Hello there, my favorite frog. HN. Seriously, YN? Frog? Anyways, hello, girly. YN. Relax, why are you always so stubborn? HN just snorted to that. And finally Chip came with HN Everyday Tack. As you were tacking up HN, you carefully wrapped some fluffy leg wraps on his/her legs, since he/she isn't a fan of cold either. Chip. YN, stop being so worried about seeing you-know-who. Voldemort. YN. Oh please, I brought my pocket knife, don't worry. Okay, she's gonna stab Josh? Like what? Chip. YN, I told you to leave your knife collection at home this time, but no time for that. He said that, slapping his forehead in disappointment, as you rolled your eyes carelessly at that. Okay then, let's go, let's not argue about it, as you mounted HN and galloped in the direction of Starshine Ranch. Chip. YN! Wait for me, please. You know Snow White needs the energy for the competition. Fine! HN. YN, you do know he has a point about you-know-who. Voldemort. Shush, not a word about that, my dear HN, you said mockingly. HN just let out a frustrated snort. As Chip caught up to HN and I were discussing about the competition. The ride was really peaceful, just what you needed to get your mind off Josh. When you and Chip made it, you let HN in the Starshine paddock, since he/she loves to play with the other horses. You always felt like HN was just an adult foal, and the thought always pulled the baggy-eyed, tired smile on your face. I'll see you later, HN. HN just let a happy snort to that. Time skip. I watched my dear friend with my full attention at this important competition. I knew this was a big shot for my friend. Everything went great. Chip scored 3rd place, which was not bad because the writers here were really experienced. When Chip was done with all that, I just said, "You did horrible." Does not mention what kind of competition it was. Okay, moving past. Chip. Well, thank you, Your Highness YN. Means a lot. We both just chuckled to that. After that, the worst came to end my afternoon, and of course he had to come to me. Josh was walking up to Chip and I, trying to act all professional, and all he looked like was a fool. Josh. Well, isn't it, my dear Wyatt? I cannot do an accent. He said mockingly. Chip's POV. Another Chip POV switch. All this switching is really confusing. Him simply walking up to us, I saw YN's fixed on him. I could see her lively eyes going from her beautiful eye color to a furious light pink. As I said before, it's inhuman. but knowing her, when she starts turning like that, it all ends up badly. Oh my gosh, is she gonna murder Josh? As she was going to tackle him at her full strength, I grabbed her shoulder and told her to leave and I will deal with him. Surprisingly, she obeyed and left. Okay, murder averted. Just barely. Time skip. You did not know where to go to calm all these temper-killing nerves, and you remembered that the moorland beach was very calm and decided to head there. HN. Hey, YN, are you okay? I saw what happened. Just forget about it. Act like it never happened. HN knew how much it bothered YN just mentioning anything related to Josh. Two, they kept it low-key, and HN also knows how things end up when YN is angry. YN is sounding a little toxic at this point. Almost there, YN. You said that lightly clicking your heels on YN's belly to a brisk canter, and something caught your eye. Alright, now we are on chapter 3, which is called The New Beginning. You and HN got closer to the thing you saw. You couldn't really tell what it was from a distance. When you got closer, you spotted a beautiful draft horse with an astonishing silver mane. What are you doing here? Isn't your owner around? HN just stared like me observing this horse. I dismounted HN to take a closer look. I carefully approached the mare and noticed it had a white bridle which had a small note attached to it. You read the note which claimed, "Property of the amazing Gidris. If lost, please return to Nilmer's Highland. P.S. If stubborn, use cookies. P.P.S. Not too many, no matter how she begs. You shall be rewarded handsomely." Well, someone has an ego here. HN and I laughed at this, but still decided to return the mare to its home. You lured her with a cookie, and she happily trotted with you up to Nilmer's Highland. As soon as you reached, you saw a small wagon and a man in front of it. The mare happily cantered to the man, which you assumed was Yidris. I was about to say something, but the man spoke before me. Yidris. Oh gosh, what kind of voice do I give Yidris? Is he supposed to be French? I don't know how to do French. Okay, I'm not even gonna try. Yidris. Ah, thank you for bringing back my beloved ZYN. I was kind of surprised he knew my name, but not really since Jorvik was a land of mysteries. Okay. But you decided to ask anyways. And how on earth do you... He cut me off. Yidris. Well, the amazing Yidris knows all. You could call me anything you want as long as it's not ordinary. He said ordinary with such disgust and hatred. I just shrugged it off and noticed how this man actually looked like. He had a tall, slender body. He also had a pair of unusual, charming, heterochromical eyes. He had silky black hair, and he was also dressed in a ringmaster's outfit. He noticed you kind of staring as he had a pervy smirk. Ew, nasty. Yidris. So my little dove, I assume you want your reward now? I don't want to know what his reward is gonna be. You shrugged it off and said, no, it's fine, it was no problem. And he automatically said, no, I insist. As he slowly started approaching you closer and closer, you observed every move like a predator about to attack its prey. The next thing you knew, a gloved hand quickly slithered around your waist and you felt a soft pair of lips on your own. Okay, you were surprisingly calm. You felt this spark you never did before, but to your instincts you pulled away the next second. You were in a calm phase, no fear, no emotion actually, just a bit maybe, but you whispered in his ear, listen bud, no matter how hot you actually look like, it doesn't mean I like you. You whispered that seductively, causing Yidris to be in shock, which you noticed, and assumed he'd probably never been rejected. You called for HN, and he happily came over whispering with a worried face, about time to go. You were about to walk away, and you turned around and noticed Yidris was still watching you, and you said, see ya around, ordinary freak. You smirked as you were saying that, practically laughing at your own joke, but Yidris wasn't too amused to hear that. And the next moment, you felt something on both of your wrists. You looked down, noticing they're glowing a pinkish and purplish color, and that glow on your wrists were forcefully dragging you back to the man. You carelessly mumbled, oh gosh, what in Nadine's name do you want? Idris just gave me a weird look, raising one of his eyebrows, and simply got more frustrated, which made the glowing on your wrists drag you faster. You knew any normal person would freak out in this situation, but honestly, you did not feel anything. Rather, you did not know what to feel. What is going on? And everything went black. ... Okay guys, that is the end of today's video. Talk about a cliffhanger, I know. So if you want to read the rest of the fanfiction, you totally can. It is in the link in the description. And let me know if you guys enjoyed this video and if you want me to reenact another Star Stable fanfiction. Thank you. Bye!